Hi there everybody, it's Verity here from inkybutterfly.com. Thank you so much for joining me again today for another card making tutorial. Today's card is for our Inspire Create design team. So our theme this time is monochrome. So I do a lot of monochromatic cards, so this is right up my street. And we get to choose the colour. So I thought, well, we may as well start using up our in colours that are retiring. So I've made a whole set of them, and then I'll do one of them with you now. Okay, and I can bet you can guess anyway. But I'm going to leave my favourite to work with you on screen. So for the design team as well, if you want to see what everybody else has made for this monochromatic challenge, please do click into the description. There's a link to my blog post so you can see more about the cards I'm making, but there's also a link directly to the challenge blog as well, where you'll see photos of everybody else's project, and that's where your opportunity is to upload your own photos of your own monochromatic designs. So please do take a look. So my cards today feature the Country Birdhouse stamp set and coordinating dies. Okay, so if I'm truly honest, I didn't really fancy the birdhouse at all, but I quite like the bird and the splatter and some really nice little sentiments in here. And the die set has some really cool features in it. Okay, and it cuts out some little flowers, and we've got an image for the bird as well. But I've also used one of the pieces that forms the roof. They're actually right angles, so actually they make really cool little corners, so I'm using that today. Okay, and obviously sentiment from that stamp set, and then the banners are from the stylish shape, so I'm using the long skinny one and the short fat one to make the sentiment banners. The largest square is the one that I've used to create the background topper as well. Okay, so here's the four I've already done in Moody Mauve, Boho Blue, Copper Clay and Pebbled Path. Okay, I think they all look fabulous, but I've saved, in my opinion, the best colour to last. So we're going to work with Wild Wheat on screen for you to recreate these cards. Okay, so Wild Wheat, just love it. This muted yellow. Okay, love it. Okay, so bits I have a white card base. This is thick basic white, card panel in regular basic white, and then I've got my die cut square, a couple of bits of scrap for some for the bird and the sentiment, and then I've just got an offcut of the cardstock. These are much bigger than I need it to be. I could have used lots of different little scraps, but there's a few elements to do, so I just decided we're going to cut into this bit for the project today. So I've put all the dies that I'm using on this little doohickey, just to save some time. So we're going to die cut a whole heap of things. Need the little flowers, which are just lovely. Okay, so you can be really super frugal with this, and in fact if I move it round we can probably be even more frugal, because we'll end up with a nice edge here that's left rather than two jaggedy edges. So there we go. So we'll do that, and we can run those through and get them die cut. So as long as the dies don't cross over each other, it's going to be fine. So we'll just roll those through. So this is what we're aiming for. Okay, so there's a few bits and pieces to die cut, but because you've got most of them are single cuts, we only have to go through once, so I do need two of the corners, but we can die cut the bird and the sentiment as well. Okay, so if I bring that back in now, so we've got our little banner that we're going to use. I need to cut this one again. So this is supposed to be the little finial on the birdhouse, but like I say, it just makes this cute little corner detail that we can use, which I think is really super. Okay, so we need to cut that one again, and then we've got these three little flowers which we can pop out properly in a minute. Okay, so this one needs to go through again, so we can use our cardstock. And to do that, let's just run that through quickly. I've got quite a big scrap of stuff to use there. And then these little offcuts are going to be for our bird and for our sentiment. So we'll get our ink pad and we can stamp this bird, which just about fits on this scrap. But before we die cut it, we're going to just put some Wink of Stella over it. So the ink will run a little bit, which is fine. It adds a little bit of colour, but not a whole heap. It just takes the white away. And that's going to just dry for a minute while we do our other little bits and pieces. Don't really want to stick the the low tack tape. Don't really want that to go over the top of that while it's wet, because it's more likely to pill and tear. And there's our lovely sentiment, which we're going to die cut with this banner die from the Stylish Shapes. So that one's ready. That one I just want to dry a little bit, and while we do that, we'll just prep some of the other little bits. Okay, so let's just pop this out. Just use a little pokey tool if they don't come out straight away. Just use those little release holes and they'll come out of the die really nice and easily. Okay, so those are all sort of ready to go now. And then this guy, we need to do a little bit of ink blending on. So we'll just grab a brush and just smear the merest bit of ink, take most of it off, and we'll just come in from one of the corners, take it along the bottom and somewhat up the side, and really blend in that bottom corner. And while we've got the brush in hand, on the background panel, I'm just going to pop some ink on the background, which will just help that square pop from the background. Okay, so that's ready to go. And then the other element we want to add on that is this splatter stamp. So I'm going to pop that on. Do a couple of those like so, and then that corner piece is going to come in here, so it will fill in on there. Okay, I think that's everything I need with the ink pad. Okay, so that'll be drying while we sort out our die cuts. Okay, so that's giving it just a minute or two just to completely dry. So we'll put our die into place, just line that up, press that into place, and we'll just get those cuts. And this is, we should have everything we need now to build our card. Okay, so let's do our little corner pieces first, because that needs some wet glue on there, so it just gives it a second to dry. You only need a little teeny tiny piece. I just put a couple of dots along this edge, just making sure I catch the end, but just some dots of glue will do. It doesn't need a lot. It's very strong, the Tombow adhesive, multi-purpose liquid glue. And we'll just pop that into that corner, just press that down, and if you don't overdo it with the glue, it dries really quick as well. It's fast grab anyway, but so dry very, very quickly if you don't put it on too thick. Okay, so for our sentiment then, I'm just going to use a little bit of seal across the middle there and lay this over the top, and you can use the little perforations on that stitching to kind of give you an idea of whether you're even or not. And I know I need to be about 4 dots in. Okay, so both the bird and the sentiment I know I'm going to pop up onto some dimensionals, so I'm just going to pop that there, and these sort of over to the right a little bit, sorry, left a little bit, because I don't want it to overhang this element here. Okay, so we can get those off. And again, I like things to, whoops, to sort of break the edges and make it look a little bit more organic, so I'm just going to pop that over there. And this overhang little piece, just to give it a bit of extra support, I'm just going to put a little mini dimensional just on the back of there, and that will give it plenty of support when we come to stick it onto the card. Then our birdie is going to sort of slot on. The dimension only lets you go down that far, but I'm going to position him so it looks like he's sort of standing on the letters a little bit, preferably not drunk though. There we go. Okay, isn't that cute? Our little flowers, I'm just going to put them face down onto the palm of my hand, and I'm just going to just use a rounded tool of some description. You can be a pen or anything like that. Okay, and then flip them over and just sort of press the centres, and you get like this really nice sort of shape on your little flowers. And they're going to need a little dab, very little piece, just appears at the end, and just here's a little bit. You can use a poker tool if necessary, just to help you press that in, or I like the ball tool from the Simply Scored, is quite good for this. You just press it in the centre just for a few seconds, and it just helps it just make that initial grab to the base cardstock. This guy's gonna tuck in there somewhere. Okay, and just press it down a little bit. And the centres we're going to embellish with these iridescent faceted gems. Okay, so there's 2 sizes, so the The big ones are our embellishment up here, just to sort of make the, just give it a bit of balance, and we get our, still get our 5 odd numbers, because these are going in each of the centres of those little flowers. Really, these are really, really pretty little gems. Okay, and so they just sort of twinkle away, and they kind of show that they're there when the light hits them in the right way. Okay, so that's our lovely little topper done. So let's just put some seal onto the back of this panel and get it attached to our card base. Ooh, not on the back. That's what happens when you try and do things quickly. Okay, just make sure they're all lined up. I always like to, I don't know, I just don't like working directly onto the card fronts, just in case you make a mistake. Okay, and it gives it a bit more, makes it stronger. Okay, and then the final panel, because we've got all that dimensional stuff on, it's not going to be very flat, so I'm just going to use a bit of the Tombow. Make sure you get in the corners. And we can position that on our card. And that is it. Aren't those little roof pieces really cool for those little corners? Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? Okay, so there we go. That's the wild wheat version. Okay, and to accompany the others in this lovely set of colours. So these are the retiring ones, don't forget. So if these are colours that you like, do get in there quick, because they'll start to sell out, particularly of any ink pads and re-inkers, and that they go very quickly. So do look out for those. All the links to everything I've used are going to be in the store. Don't forget to check out the link for the challenge blog. It's in the description as well, and from there you'll be able to see all the other design team makes as well. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed today's card. Thank you so much for your ongoing support, for watching me today. Do stay safe, take care, and I will see you again soon. Bye.